your God power. Get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. Active and inactive vibrations. Everything that you have ever experienced physically or experienced in your thoughts is still with you. Those memories are still deep in your mind, even though you may never be able to remember them. We know that they are there because after you finish your physical experience in this life, you will experience a life review where you will relive your entire experience in minutes for educational purposes. Most of the people who have experienced an NDE, which is a near-death experience, and those who are hypnotized and regressed to the time in between lives, all report the life review experience. So the memories are there. So why can't we remember them all? I feel it is a matter of relevance and importance. Just in the same way as it isn't important for you to remember your past lives in this one, your past memories aren't important either. However, even the hardest memories to remember come back in full view if they are triggered by a song or a smell or some other thing that brings them back. Only then are they once again relevant. While it would be nice to remember everything, selectivity and relevance is quite important. Since you are continuously eliciting into your experience based on your thoughts, it is important to keep only the currently relevant thoughts in the forefront and allow the past and no longer relevant thoughts to fade into the background. That is the nature of your active and inactive thoughts. It is the difference between what you are currently attracting and bringing to your attention and what you are no longer noticing. I used to love stopping along the roadside to help people whose cars had broken down. I have built countless motors, and I know my way around an engine very well. I was actually able to help them and get them started again most of the time, and when I wasn't, I could at least explain what had happened so they could get it fixed. I was always on the lookout for the next opportunity to be the hero. I could spot them miles ahead and even across traffic on the highway, going in the other direction. But there came a time when I no longer had the time to help them, and I didn't want to get dirt on my clothes either. I was in sales then, and I needed to stay presentable for my next sales call. I remember the first time I actually drove by some people standing on the side of the road, hoping for someone to stop and help them. That was a really hard thing to do. But over time, with much practice in ignoring the broken down cars on the sides of the roads, a funny thing happened. I stopped seeing them altogether. They weren't anywhere to be seen. Not on my side of the road or in the oncoming lanes either. Either people no longer break down on the sides of the road, or I am no longer resonating with them to the point where they catch my attention. It must be the latter, because I'm sure they are broken down all over the place, but just not in my world. When you practice disrupting or ignoring a thought pattern, it begins to lose its vibrational power. That makes perfect sense. The kinds of things that caught your attention as a kid and were relevant to you then are no longer relevant and should no longer be attracted or noticed. That is the relevance factor of vibrations. The vibrations to find broken down cars are still there, but no longer active and currently resonating in my experience. If I were to suddenly buy a repair shop or start a record service, that vibration would be revived and be as strong as ever. I would once again see them for miles, and they would see me too, but until then, it is an inactive part of my past. To get a good understanding of active and inactive vibrations, consider the following analogy. Suppose you have a CD collection of musical notes that you have collected your entire life. You have every single note you ever vibrated on CDs, stored in boxes and boxes in the warehouse of your mind. But you still have a certain group of CDs that you have in your CD changer that are the ones that you listen to now. That is easy to imagine because it is true of your music collection. While you may have hundreds of CDs or even thousands of CDs, there are only a few that you are currently listening to right now. That select group is your currently active song choices that are relevant to you at this time in your life. However, in your vast collection, you probably have CDs and songs that you have completely forgotten about. But if someone brought up the name, you would then remember. That is the same way with your vibrations. While you have millions and most likely billions of vibrations in your lifetime, you only have a select group that are your currently active vibrations that are at this moment vibrating and attracting into your experience on a daily basis. If you have guitars in your living room and you begin to play your CDs that are currently in the CD changer, then they will be sending out certain vibrations into the air. The guitars pick up these vibrations and resonate on just the strings that are similar and resonate with the notes being played. That is just what we've been talking about this whole time. These would be the high notes, for example. Of course, the ones that are being played are the currently active ones. These guitars and tuning forks wouldn't be responding to the vibrations of the CDs that are stored in boxes and not being played. How could they? If I was to go to my inactive CD collection and pull out an older CD and begin to play it, like my example of looking for broken down cars, it would send out its vibration once again, and I would begin to see broken down cars everywhere, even in my front yard. That is how reviving inactive vibrations make them become active again, by thinking about them again. However, since that is not what I want, I won't think about it. Not because it was bad, but because it is no longer relevant to the experience that I want. It would just clutter up my experience. When you keep talking about past situations that no longer matter, good or bad, you are filling your current experience with dead wood, elicitations that are no longer useful. Why not spend your time focusing on just what you want in your experience now and let the rest go? Keep only what you want and enjoy your active vibration collection and forget the rest.
To continue, go to How to Use Your God Power, chapter number 11, segment number 28. Let your quest for knowing continue.